Hello my friends, and welcome back to Meerkat Musings. Welcome back to the Meerkat Prompt series, where once again we're doing this in video form because, well, once again I just think it's worth doing things a bit differently from time to time. The prompt in question today is you're going on a cross-country trip. What do you choose? Plane, train, bus, car or bike travel? Well, for me personally, I don't drive, which rules out car travel anyway. Plus, also, generally speaking, I don't particularly enjoy long car rides. I can tolerate it, but depending on the journey, it can leave me feeling quite drained. I can't explain it. It kind of frazzles me in a way that no other form of transport really does, with the possible exception of flying, which I think frazzles everyone to a certain degree. I can ride a bike, but I don't think I'd want to cycle across the country. For starters, British weather isn't really usually that conducive to bike rides everywhere. And there's also various locations which would be deemed somewhat unsafe, to be honest with you. So that would leave me with looking at the holy trinity of public transport, which would be planes, trains and buses. Now, some of this depends on where I'd want to go, what I would plan to do. So if I was plotting a route to do a cross-country trip across the UK, I'd be thinking about the sort of transport means that are accessible to me and the sort of experience I want to have. That would more or less rule out flying in some respects, because I'd want to enjoy the journey as much as getting to the destination. And with flying, okay, the convenient factor is you're done quite quickly. You know, flying from, say, England to Scotland doesn't take very long, as a rule. But I'd rather savour the experience and possibly stop off at a few places along the way. So if money and time were no object, I would think to myself, right, I would do this almost entirely by rail, because I like trains. I am a complete and utterly geeky, nerdy meerkat. Not going to deny it. I enjoy train rides, always have done. And so what I would probably do is get myself down to the southwest of the country, Cornwall sort of way, Penzance, Plymouth, that neck of the woods, do the experience of the night train, perhaps, but also, if I wasn't doing the night train, I would pick a few places to experience the neck of the woods. So there's gorgeous beaches actually down there, down in Cornwall. So I might see a bit of that, sample some of the local culture, as it were, and then get a train, possibly the night train, back into London. And then from there, I'd be thinking to myself, right, where can I go from here? What can I do? I would probably get a train I'd be very tempted to get a train from King's Cross up to Edinburgh, stopping off at certain points along the way, such as York, which is a beautiful historic town, Berwick-upon-Tweed, as well, for a variety of reasons. Edinburgh itself is a town I have been to before, a city I've been to before, a long time ago now, but I'd like to see it again. I've got family there, so it would be a great kind of opportunity to do that. From there, I could travel further up into the Highlands, perhaps head up to Inverness, stopping along the way at Aviemore, which I've been to, and revisit the steam railway there. That would be amazing. And some of the lines out of Inverness have some beautiful scenic routes. I've only ever seen them on video, but they look absolutely gorgeous, amazing little stations to see, and locations of outstanding natural beauty up there. So that'd be great to do. And then doing the reverse journey, I'd come back into London, perhaps via the West Coast main line, so come into Glasgow and then head down via locations such as Manchester, down to Hords, Euston, and experience that side of things. So I'd love to do all that by train, and perhaps even come out of St Pancras, head up to places like Nottingham by train as well. And then, of course, there's the Eurostar. These days I could do a cross-country trip literally across different countries. Courtesy of the Eurostar. Get the Eurostar into Paris, maybe experience a bit of Paris. From there, you can get all sorts of connecting trains to all sorts of locations. Do I want to go to Madrid? Do I want to go to Berlin? The world is my oyster. And, trains can connect to, through the Eurostar service. They can connect me to almost anywhere. There's only a few places where I'd then be thinking, right, I'm going to have to fly if I want to do a cross-country trip, by train or by any other means, doesn't matter. If I want to do that in the Americas, then obviously got to get a plane over there. Likewise, Australia, likewise, Japan. But once I was in those countries, again, I'd be thinking, is there the opportunity to do this glorious, wonderful train ride? And I think, Japan's very good for catering for that. Canada, Rocky Mountains, that kind of thing, again, they cater for that most brilliantly. So that would be my preference. That would be my desire. If I was going to do a trip like that, I'd do it by train. And that's not to say that I would do a trip like that. I genuinely don't know if it would interest me, to be honest. And of course, it would come down to factors such as money and time. If I had loads of money, if I win the Euro Millions in the coming days, then I'd have all the time in the world because I wouldn't need to work, so I could make something happen. Not entirely sure that my wife and daughter would be thrilled about doing lots and lots of train rides. In fact, I can already hear my daughter objecting, but it's something that I would certainly like to do. And it wouldn't just be for the sake of train rides. It would be to see some of these different places, to see different parts of the UK I've not seen, because there's enough right here in the UK to see and to fascinate that I think would be worth seeing. And a lot of it is accessible by train, which just so happens to be, therefore, the perfect marriage for me, if you like. Beautiful locations, amazing sights, fun things to do, and I can reach all of that through my favourite form of travel, which is the train. So my answer, most conclusively, is cross-country trip. I'm choosing the train.